This is C Monster, otherwise known as Baymon LOL. This is my first ever ranked game with Zac. Zac is the newest jungler that Riot has put out. He's pretty cool. He's made out of goo, and what he does is when he uses his abilities, he splits off a piece of himself, and that heals you for an amount of your maximum health, not the amount of current health that you have, so you actually do get ahead. And what I found about Zac was that it seemed like he was a little weak early on before he got some items, but overall, Zac is a pretty powerful jungler. I played against him several times, and he definitely seemed like he was pretty badass. Now, this particular game, we were against a team that for some reason decided they were going to go 2 mid, and that's okay. You know, whatever they decided to do, it didn't work out very well for them, but they went 2 mid. Another thing you can do for Zac is he can start red. I don't normally particularly start red, but in this case, Zac is very good starting red. And as you can tell, I went through the jungle several times, went through my golems twice, got myself all nice and healed up here, and now I'm running out to see what I can do. The one thing I did see about Zac that I did like is that he has a lot of versatility. Here you can see I'm going in for the elastic slingshot shot, hit Denki Doodle, looks like, and slowed her, but she managed to get out of the way. I didn't quite coordinate that well enough with Rise. I probably should have pinged, and that would have gotten me a little bit better response. As far as going after Mr. Denki Doodle, or Ms. Denki Doodle, here I go for it again, and I miss Denki Doodle completely. That's okay. And now I'm covering mid, and one thing I will note is that you will see that there are 2 banners in this, and that is intentional because this game had a lot of bad manners by some of my teammates, and I did not want to show that. I wanted to leave that completely out of here, and I didn't want anybody to the few fans I do have, in case you ever run into that person, have a preconceived notion of how they might play. So I'm sorry if you don't like all the banners, but I did not want to expose somebody who didn't necessarily deserve to be exposed. Maybe they were having a bad day or something, to do this. So here you see I come back here because I saw that Mr. Snoop Doe Whoop was going 2-on-1, and here we come around because Jax tries to get me from behind. Elastic slingshot, completely miss him, do not slow him. And then here we go, bounce, 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 and we managed to slow him down, knock him up, and kill him off. Here's Renekton is still running away from us. All my abilities are on cooldown, unfortunately, so I'm not able to do anything. Plus, some of my clicking, I think, is getting me a little all over the place. Some of the collision. So I back off here because here I see, and I make the little mistake of going for an elastic slingshot, and I should have probably let that go because he was ignited, but I didn't see at that moment that he had been ignited. But a death is a death is a death. I probably would have been regretful if he would have survived that ignite and would have managed to live through it. Say if you had a person here, I elastic slingshot onto Jax. I nail him with my, I don't know what the W is called because I haven't used it very often, and managed to take him down about half of his health just off of 2 of my abilities. Then Garrett comes in and cleans up, manages to take out Jax, and I run back through, and I decide I'm going to recall. I pick up the Spirit of Spectral Wraith because I thought that might be a good item. Found out as I was going along that actually kept him kind of weak for a long extended period of time. I'm probably going to itemize him a little bit differently when I play him this next time. Here you see him coming in. I thought I was going to get involved in this fight, but there was no point because my teammates had pretty much taken care of it. Here I elastic slingshot shot my way in, managed to hit both of them, but I came in through, hit by bounce, 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 managed to give a little extra damage into Jax, and that was about it for that particular engagement. Here Ash is off to the side. I decided to come in, hit him with my explosive ability, my W, and then hit him with my double punch for my Q. We managed to take out Ash. Here we're going in for the tower. We saw that the only person defending was that Oriana, and that missed, and we took out the tower. Back into the jungle I went, and not that big of a deal. Here you also see that I did for this video is I went back to the other style that I had where I was, there's an elastic slingshot on a Jax, and then another W, hit him with my big double punch. He must have bought an item here because he managed to survive that, and then he dies off. Going in to get a shot on Danky Doodle, and I missed my shot on Danky Doodle. And we went for the dragon, but like I was saying, you'll notice that I did slow the action down when I was getting into fights in this one. I thought that going at straight 350 plus speed, while it made the videos a little bit shorter, what I did see was that I thought that it was decreasing the quality of videos, and as much as it takes a little extra time to do it that way, I decided that I wanted to give my viewers, the few ones that I do have, a little bit more quality. Here you'll see I went in 3v1, probably not the best idea, and there I went in 2v3, and this ends up making me explode. You'll see here in a second. There's Zac's passive. I got my little guys. I was like, oh, I got that one guy, one's not going to make it, and he did. So I ended up dying off. It's not that big of a deal. I am 1-1 and 6 at this point. I'm getting a lot of assists, and I like it when I'm assisting my teammates. I don't think you can carry out of the jungle. Sometimes you can, depending on what character you're using, and I think Zac is a character that you could possibly carry out of the jungle with, but I don't think that that's the case in this. I don't think that was the case in this game. Here you see I was going to go for an elastic slingshot, but it slowed me down, but I didn't quite have anybody in range. So back into the jungle, we're kind of trying to counter jungle them a little bit. There I did a real quick short range elastic slingshot to slow him down, went into my bounce, knocked him up, hit him for a little extra damage, did my explosive, and then did my stretching strike, I believe it's called, my Q, and ended up killing off Renekton. So, like I was saying, I wanted to keep the quality of my videos a little bit better by slowing it down for the fights again. I thought it helped me analyze the fights a little bit better. There I went to go in and get in on Danky Doodle again and just didn't get in, unfortunately. Here we all got exposed by Ash's little arrow there, but that is kind of what it is. And as I said, this is my first game with Zac ranked. I actually think this is my first game in PvP at all with Zac, so I think I did pretty good given the fact that I wasn't really sure about his abilities. There again I died because I went in and we were 3v4 at that point. I preached in my tips and trips video when to initiate, and that was not one of those times that I should have been initiating. And I also wasn't very tanky yet. I had picked up my Warmogs, but I still was not as tanky as I would have liked to have been. I like playing Zac, I like playing Zac a little tankier than most. Some people I've seen don't necessarily play him very tanky, but I like playing him a little tanky. And unfortunately he just wasn't tanky enough. There you see I go in, I see Renekton comes around the corner, and then Oriana, and then there's Mr. Danky Doodle playing Nidalee. I decided to come out around, I tried to hit Jax, missed him completely, get slowed down by the ultimate from Ashe, come back around, there Garen takes out Renekton, I get killed, I get my passive is slowly there, the little pieces go slowly get me together. I'm back together, but I'm still 3v1 and I'm running away. And I get ignited and then I end up dying. His passive is really powerful. If you are in a team fight, and sometimes you get that place where you're like, oh, there's just that little bit of damage I could have done and I would have won that team fight, but your teammates are still fighting. What that passive allows you to do is get back into the fight. I think you end up with like about a third of your life. I'm not really sure what the thing says. Here you see we go back in, we go in on Renekton. Renekton was really kind of overextending himself in this game. There I hit him with a bounce, and Ryze ends up finishing him off. That's good because I think Ryze can carry a game hardcore. There you see Rise takes out Denki Doodle, then Garen takes out Ashe, and we managed to get an inhibitor for it. Of course, that whole time we were 4v3, and whenever you have things in your or odds in your favor like that, you can very easily. There you'd see another kill on Renekton from Rise. That was a 5v1 kill, and whenever you're 5v1, you're almost guaranteed to make it. There you see finally Ashe takes out Rise, and then Nidalee takes out Garen. That kind of reduces our presence inside of their base, but we still do get a Nexus turret for it. Here, another time, again, Renekton comes flying out, goes after Varus. I am trying to save Varus's butt, hit him with a bounce, 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 do get the knockup, and then I hit him with a stretching strike here. I think it's coming up, stretching strike to try to slow him down, and it just didn't work. So I'm running away because I didn't think I could take on Renekton, even though I was a level higher than him. I just didn't think that didn't have the damage. I was sorry that I did end up losing Varus, but that's alright. Varus, I think understood that I was trying everything I could possibly have done. So here you see me come out. We're just kind of wandering around. I did end up here this little piece just wandering a little aimlessly. Decided to come in with Garen and start fighting with some of the super minions, and then go down to the south and take out this last inhibitor turret that we had that was up. Here you see, in comes Renekton. He actually hits minions instead of hitting anybody else. I could go in for my bounce, 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 nail Renekton, but don't really do a whole lot of damage. And then I hit with my my Q. I hit with another W here in a second. There's another W, and then I end up going into my passive, and this is this place where my W really did help, because my teammates were able to keep my little pieces alive and allowed me to live, and that allowed me to just go back to base and continue. So what I was doing here is I had already had the Spirit Spectre Wraith, I had had my Ninja Tabby, I had had my Warmogs, and I was building Riley's Crystal Scepter, because I think that's a good item on him. I see a couple people build it on him, and I do think that is really a good one. It gives him health and gives him AP, makes him a little bit stronger as far as his abilities. Here you see, I go in, I see Renekton. I kind of ended up stealing that kill a little bit of that Renekton, because Garen was laying waste to him pretty bad. And here, so I'm 3, and 13, pretty good stats. One thing I would note about Zac is he is a little weak early on. I don't necessarily like that about him, and but he very much scales as the game goes on. You get him a little bit of health, get him a little AP, and he starts to become a monster as the game progresses. He gets you can give him a lot of assists.